Hi and welcome to Home Screens. This is our second episode, which is pretty amazing for me. I thought I might just stop on the one, but I hope you enjoyed the first episode. This week I've actually got a guest on. So this week's guest is Jason Burk, who's from one of my favourite podcasts, Hemispheric Views, and also another one of my favourites, 3x2, which is a photography podcast, which I really enjoy. I do really enjoy it, to be honest. I'm probably on a I would say it's on a similar level to Hemispheric for me now. 3x2. Wow. I really enjoy it because the main thing is because I'm discovering new stuff. Secretly disappointed I'm not on there yet, but not a guest, as in my photography. But I do enjoy it because it shows me people that I don't know. And I know most of it, a lot of it is on Glass, obviously, which is, I love Glass as a platform. But I found quite a few new photographers via that. So I appreciate you doing that podcast, because there's not a lot of podcasts, photography podcasts that I listen to, because something that's visual, if you're in the car or driving, is so hard to follow those sort of podcasts. But you guys explain the photography in a way that even if you're not seeing it there and then, it gives you a good indication of what it looks like. So yeah, 3x2, I'm really enjoying it. So you guys keep that one going. Definitely.
We plan.
How are you
so
anyway?
Thank you. I'm great. Thank you for having me here. This is awesome. I love being on different kinds of shows, and this is definitely one of them. Then thank you also for the kind words on the other shows that we do. Much appreciated.
That's okay.
Yeah, and I think it's the home screen thing is, it's such a weird phenomena or subculture, or I don't know. There's something weird about, as soon as we got devices like this, home screens became this thing that everybody just wants to know what wallpaper, what things you're using, what are these apps, and like share your home screen became a thing. And yeah, it's just, so I'm thrilled to be here, and we've had phones for however long we've had them, and I think it's just as relevant now as it ever has been. So yeah, happy to be here.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lee.
Yeah, that's fine. And yeah, like you said, this podcast was to scratch an itch for me as well, because I'm fascinated by how people set their devices up. And I'm terrible for changing my wallpaper probably every day or every other day as well. So I like seeing what people, how they've got their devices set up. So first off, the device that you're using is an iPhone 15 Pro Max?
Yeah, this is a iPhone 15 Pro Max, the big one, in natural titanium.
Yeah, I've got the same color, just a little smaller phone. And I will say one thing, this is to all the listeners, by the way, is I've not found a great way of inserting the home screens and pictures into the chapter art yet. So at the moment, there'll be links in the description off to my site, off to my blog, which has them. I will improve that over time. It's just at the moment it's I'm in a newbie territory for the podcasting, kind of editing and stuff. So, and I use Spotify as well at the moment, which isn't great in terms of chapter support, but that's just by the side. That's just an aside. I just thought I'd mention it, because last time I realized I did the whole podcast and didn't say where to find the screenshots. So what we'll do is we'll start with your lock screen. So you've got the calendar, Apple Calendar at the top by the looks of it.
Yeah, so my lock screen, I will preface with, is very boring. It's an always on screen, and so I made it just dark on purpose because I kind of only care about the time, being able to glance at the time. At the top, I've got the Fantastical widget that just tells me my next appointment, which I guess, as another aside, widgets in general on iOS, it's not really even a love-hate relationship. It's like a tolerance/hate relationship, to where they just flat out are unreliable. Like I have this calendar one here, and it says, theoretically it says, oh, you have a thing in X minutes, and here's the title. It'll say that for like 3 days, just the same thing, and never update. So in theory, it would be awesome to be able to glance at the top of my phone and see my next like meeting or whatever, but it's so unreliable. I kind of ignore it now. So why is it there?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just too lazy to remove it, I guess.
Yeah, and what frustrates me is look at all that space under the time.
Yeah.
There's a whole lock screen there. You know, and I know
That's-
we talked about the CMF, didn't we, on your
Yep.
podcast?
Yeah.
That can do it. That you can put You can put widgets all over the lock screen. Please, Apple,
Yeah.
just let us put. Imagine having your whole calendar view on that screen there.
I think you
If it
get what
updates reliably.
four tiny widgets, and then the kind of wide one on the top above the time, and then there's just, especially on the Pro Max, there's 4,000 pixels of just blank space, and then the two little tiny things, which at least you can change those now. But yeah,
I mean, I know what you mean about the widget there, the top one, and Fantastical I did use, but I had issues with it on the lock screen. So not on the lock screen, sorry. The only reason I used the app was to have the calendar view, the month view, on the lock screen. But what I found was when I put it on my home screen, whenever I unlocked the phone, there was a white flash.
Oh,
So the widget flashes from light mode to dark mode, no matter how I set the phone, or if I forced the widget to always be in dark mode, it would always rotate to light mode really, really quickly. So it was distracting. It's really odd. I put it on Mastodon. No one else seemed to have seen it, but whenever I use the Fantastical widget, it's very unreliable. But so what have you got next? You got air quality, so that'll be Apple weather.
Yep. Air quality. We tend to live in an area where there's wildfires every year, so it's just nice to have a quick glance at what's going on there. I think the middle one is alarms, and then
Alarms, yeah.
I don't honestly know what the third one is because I
I'm
almost
guessing
never use
things.
them. Yeah,
Looks like
that
things,
could be.
but maybe not.
Let me actually do it. Oh, yeah, you're right. It is to add a thing, which clearly I use all the time because I don't even remember what the heck it is. This screen is kind of just a wasteland, honestly. It's literally a clock, which I don't even really need that because I can just look at my watch. There's just not a lot going on here. I think the one thing that the lock screen is used for me is something you can't even see, and that is to swipe it to the left to open the camera. That's literally it.
Interesting. So that you're not using the action button for that?
No, because I find the swipe to be so much faster than trying to like press and hold a button that now if I hold it wrong, like it may just turn the screen into edit mode to now I'm editing widgets on the lock screen. Like just swiping is by far the best, fastest way to get to the camera for me.
I'm getting my phone now. Yeah, mine. Oh, I've turned that setting off on mine to swipe to the left.
Oh, really?
Well, no, yeah, because basically what I did was my habit has always been before this phone was always to hit the the button on the bottom right there, which I can see. We'll talk about that in a second, but I've just gotten into a real good habit of using the action button now to the point that I've taken the camera app off my home screen completely, and I'm just using the action button. And I can see your Mr. Beta at the moment with your software, and I can see you using the Leica app there as a replacement.
Yeah, so that was
camera.
like we just now got this. This has been, however 17 years in the making, I guess, or whatever it is. But there's the flashlight there, which, it's kind of one of the other core utilities of a phone is to be a flashlight. And then, since I use the swipe for the regular camera, I put a different camera there because sometimes I like to use a different camera app or for some specific reason, of whatever it does. So I just put that in its place. So now I have sort of quick-ish access to both cameras instead of having to fully unlock the phone to go find a camera app. It could just be right there.
Yeah, it's on my list to try. I did. The Leica app was the sort of thing that I fired up, took a couple of pictures, and then completely forgot it even existed.
Yeah,
so
I think that's what most people probably did with it. To be perfectly honest, it's interesting. I don't think it's really it's not an app that I would go out and like full on recommend to people as like a camera alternative. I don't think it does anything really more than the standard camera app mostly. If you're looking for like a camera app that does crazy stuff, like there's way better options for, you have like Halide and stuff like that. So it's it's one of those apps where like if it has a specific thing you want, then you'll use it, but it is not a generalist app by any stretch, I would say.
It's probably the only Leica I can afford as well, so I might I might try it again. That's not a joke. That's not a dig at anybody with a Leica, by the way. I love those cameras, but it's justifying it for me. So no, that's really good, and it's interesting that you've got a. We'll see a home screen in a second. I'll bring it up on my screen here, but it's interesting that you've got quite a plain lock screen wallpaper that you're not using the same wallpaper. I do the same, but I have a family picture on my phone, and then when I come in to the home screen, I've got a grey, and I change it, like I said, every other day. But it's interesting because you've got a grey. You've almost got the opposite. You've got what I consider quite distracting wallpaper for your home screen, but a non-distracting one for your lock screen, whereas I'm the other way around.
Yeah. And on the lock screen, I've also turned off notifications entirely. So it's just that like kind of, it still says that there's X number of notifications, but all the little bannery things and all that crap, I just turned it completely off. I don't want to see any of that on the lock screen.
No, and my notifications are pared right down as well, to be honest. I find them distracting. Okay, so home screen.
Home screen, here it is.
Wallpaper's really interesting. Where's that one from?
I actually made this one. So this was cool. I just was messing around trying to come up with something everybody, well, not everybody knows. Most people, anybody that knows me knows that I'm obsessed with the color scheme / whatever you want to call it, called Dracula, which is a kind of color palette, I guess is the best way to describe it. So I made one using those colors. And yeah, you mentioned earlier you change your wallpaper like all the time. I think I've not changed my wallpaper in years, probably. I generally put one and then it just sits there it'll probably be there for another 5 years. As long as it comes over from the transfer from phone to phone, it'll still be there on the next phone.
I wish I could be that. Discipline's the wrong word. It's I think it's more comfortable for me to know exactly like to have it be like a safe space sounds way too like over the top, but it's just this I know what you mean. Knowing what's going to be there every single time and the consistency I think is probably more what it is for me. Yeah, I mean, I think I lean more towards darker ones now, just because I don't want to blow my eyeballs out when it's night or in the morning. But so you've got obviously a big that's not the largest widget, that's like the medium size widget
medium,
there on the top, and that is obviously a weather app that we did talk about kind of pre-recording, and that was, do you say Hello Weather?
That's Hello Weather. Yeah,
it's not an app that I've tried.
It's a carousel for me, not one of the automatic ones, because those drive me nuts, because again, I want to know what's there when I go to look at it, and all the like quote unquote smart ones that show when they think you want to see it, it's just not gonna work. Like, it's not possible. So I just have it manually flippable between that and I think it's just called the Memories widget from Photos, where it just sort of shows you random photos from places, which again, back to widgets being annoying. I just don't understand. Like, I've got 60,000 photos or something in my photo library, and I swear it shows maybe 30 of those photos ever.
And yours was all chilies or something.
They all seem to be skewed towards like very recently as well. Like, I don't know. I don't quite understand what its goal is. I really wish it was just show me a random photo from, my whole library and change it every 45 seconds or something. Like, I wish it was more configurable.
I think you can set it to an album, but I think that's about it. I came across this the other day because I was trying to do exactly the same thing. I was setting up my iPad and I wanted to have some pictures that I like on there. And I ended up installing Widgetsmith and using that, because that's the only app I know is a good app that will do that. So I've just got a fixed picture on my on my home screen now, and I'm using Widgetsmith now for all my widgets on the lock screen as well.
Oh, okay. I'll have to look at that.
Yeah, it's a lot of customization. Gets a little bit tricky. It's not too intuitive to begin with, but yeah, it's worth a shot. So you've got the App Store on the main page.
Yeah,
Which,
I know. I don't know. I feel like I'm in there enough to, and like auto updates for apps is another thing that
yeah.
I don't, that doesn't work. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
ever
Well,
actually
there's
auto
no
update.
yeah, there's no shame in here, by the way. It's just it's just one thing. It'd be nice if you could make given you've got the Pro Max, it'd be nice if you could get more icons on your home screen.
Yes.
For me, that's a good space of something that I'm going to use a lot. Especially
Look
when
at
I've
all
got quite
that
a few widgets
space.
on there.
So much
I
just
know, it's
dead
ridiculous.
space. Yeah,
Interesting
I'm
you've
a
got your
habitual app updater, and like
Oh, are
so
you?
I'm in there
Okay.
all the time, like swiping to refresh it to make sure that I have like the
Oh.
latest everything. So yeah,
No, I don't bother with that. I always forget. And then you've got the Leica app on there as well.
yeah. So this is
Um,
actually the other Leica app. This is the one that lets you connect to your camera and pull photos down directly.
forget all that stuff I said about Leica earlier. Then
It's actually it's the best. Like every camera manufacturer has one of these apps where you can
yeah,
connect
my
your
Sony
camera.
does. Yeah, my Sony
And
does.
this one is absolutely by far the best I've ever used. It works every time. It works via cable as well, which is really nice. So I can just plug
okay,
in
that's
and
good.
pull in through cable. And it's just, yeah, it's a really nice app if you're out and about to be able to just pull a photo directly into your phone, do whatever you want with it, send it to somebody. Yeah, it just works super well. I'm
good.
really, really happy with it.
That's better than the Sony one because that thing just. I've got the Alpha, and
Yeah.
I have to turn off Wi-Fi because the battery on that thing is dreadful.
Yep. I came from Sony previously, and yeah, they used to have what the Image Connect or whatever the old one was called, and it was terrible. And then they had a new one which was better, but still pretty fiddly.
Yeah, yeah. And that next one, I'm guessing that's a game, is it, of some sort?
It is, yeah. It's called. Oh, I don't have any labels on anything, so it might be a struggle. I think it's called Idle Icta, I think is what it's called, and it's like one of those kind of you can come in and leave and go and like it'll do things in the game while you're not there. I'm not
It's like
describing
a farming
this well.
type. Yeah, I know it's one of the. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's a bit like when I got addicted to.
It's like paperclip simulator
Fallout.
kind of and things like that.
Yeah, I got addicted to Fallout Vault,
Okay.
and that was a similar where you'd have all your little vault dwellers, and you'd set them off doing stuff, and you could just come out, go back in
Yes.
whenever you wanted.
Yeah.
And they'd
Exactly.
be carrying on
Yep.
doing stuff in the background. And then
Yep.
you'd realise after 2 days, why is my battery life dead by like 1 o'clock in the afternoon? And then you realise it's that app. Glass.
Glass.
So I'm gonna guess that you're a patron,
Yes, I am.
and that's a test flight. Or is that
No, not test flight. I think just regular.
Okay, it's a nice icon. Yeah, I've just got the. I pay obviously for the membership, but I don't have the patron support. Yeah, it's a great app. It's good to see that on your home screen. I've got it on there too. I wish more people would use it. Photos. Yeah. Me too. 1Password, is it?
Yep, 1Password. Just it's pretty standard. Just everything's in there, always accessible. Can't live without. Like it's a password manager, but it's also kind of like a life manager because I keep documents in there for different things. We have shared vaults. My wife and I have different shared vaults so that we always have access to everything like in our life world. So it's just it's a good all around storage place.
Cool. Apple Maps.
Maps. I don't
Apple
really
Maps,
use
yeah.
maps. I don't really use maps a lot anymore.
Okay.
I just use the navigation in the car, and yeah.
Okay. You might be time to put something else there.
Yeah, I think so.
The next one is
Castro for podcasts. Yeah.
Is that something that you've recently started using, or is that like a long-term thing?
Let's see. I've been on Castro probably for a very long time, other than just dabbling in other ones just to see kind of what other people are offering. I have, I think, every podcast app installed just for checking like our shows to make sure that things are looking correct and so forth, because they all kind of do things slightly differently, but my go-to is Castro. Yeah.
Cool. Discord. That's an easy one.
Yeah, Discord.
Although I'm going to say something, and I don't want... You know those things that once you see it, you can't unsee it?
Yeah.
Every time I look at that app, for some reason, I see Mickey Mouse's shorts. I don't know why. The back of it.
Yeah, totally, because it's got the two little buttons.
Yeah, the two little things.
Oh man! Well, I will
I've
never
always
unsee
thought
that now.
Yeah, I know, yeah. There's quite a rude one about one of the it was iOS. It was iOS, one of the iOS versions. I think it might have been 13 or something, and I really liked the standard wallpaper, and then someone said it looks like someone doing something rude, and then I couldn't unsee it after that, and I just couldn't use it anymore.
It totally looks like his shorts. Yep, you're absolutely right.
Fantastic Cal.
Yep, Fantastic Cal. It's the only calendar that works the way that I want it to. I have tried every calendar that exists in the world, and it's the only one that does what I want.
Yeah, I like it too. Bear.
Yep.
Which I've started using too. Yeah, I've started using Bear. Recently came over it because I got a lot of kind of personal notes and stuff I want to keep to the side, and having family that know all your passwords. This isn't a wife thing. This is like, I got my daughter's fidgeting around with your phone. Like you can't like a Mac, you can have multiple users. Obviously, you can't do that on iPad or iOS. So I started using it just to have like a little group of stuff away from notes, and I've gotten really into using it now. I really like it.
It's a very thoughtful, also opinionated, designed app that I think either really works for people or like really doesn't. And if it doesn't, just go look somewhere else, because it's not going to bend to your will. Like, it's going to do what it's going to do.
I did find though that the sync was unreliable, just because I was doing a note on the iPad, and then I did some stuff on my phone on the same note, and then I had two versions of it. And I delete one. I look at which one was the most recent and delete the older one. So it was a little bit, it's a bit strange. And that next one is an app called Tot, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Tot.
Right?
That's the scratch pad that I just need to throw something somewhere for some reason, and it syncs between everything beautifully. So I can throw a note on my Mac, and then it's on my phone ready to go. Yeah,
I mean, I've used it on and off as well. I tend to use Apple Notes by default, but Tot is one of those apps that is very designed to do a specific thing very good.
And I like that
it's nice design.
It forces you to not collect, because you only have the 7 dots, and that's it. And there is no infinite amount of storage in it. And I think that's why I use it for little scratch pads instead of like Bear, because then I'll just have 10,000 pieces of garbage in my Bear notes.
Yeah. Ivory.
Yep. Mastodon. Yep. That's the only quote unquote social network, I guess, that I'm on.
Same. And I've no idea what the other one is. It looks like something out of Link, but I've no
the
idea
other
what
that's the Rivian app. So the a car key.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rivian. Yeah, the cool car. We don't see any. I've never seen one in the UK, but we see a lot of Polestars and a lot of.
Oh, really? Okay.
The other one, which I don't want to mention.
Yeah.
But they're the ones we see the most. But we starting to see a lot of Polestars, but I've not seen a Rivian.
Oh, they're interesting. Really cool. I think they're slowly leaking out from the US, I think, at this point.
And I assume you've got the yellow.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the best color as well. So my next screenshot I have is, we'll go on to your second page, because the other screenshot I have is just the carousel with a picture of what looks like chilies.
Yeah, I think it's shishito peppers.
Okay. So coming on to interesting, you've got the phone on the second page.
Yeah, I don't really make phone calls a lot, if ever.
No. No, I don't. I'm just paranoid I'll miss something important if I don't have it on the main screen.
Yep.
That's the only reason I have it there, so I can see the notification icon. Probably, I never have any phone calls, to be honest.
I just assume they'll call back if it's important.
Maybe I'll do that as well. I think take it off. Then you've got the health app,
Yeah.
So I assume that's because you use your Apple Watch.
Yeah. And it's just also if I'm at an appointment, like a doctor appointment or something, it's nice to just be able to pop in there and either add stuff or recall stuff from the past. And because most of that stuff, I mean, I think this is probably very US centric, but the majority of our, I don't want to speak highly of healthcare in the US, but one thing that we kind of do pretty well is that anything from like a doctor visit or whatever, like it all syncs into Apple Health pretty well and pretty seamlessly.
Oh, wow.
So like if you go to a visit and you have some labs done, like that all kind of comes in pretty naturally.
That's pretty great. That's pretty great. Yeah, we don't unless we don't have that. As far as I'm aware, I've never seen that here.
We pay an arm and a leg for it.
Our health service is free.
Yeah,
but our health service is free, obviously. So I'll trade.
I'll take the other side of that for sure.
Yeah, I'll trade that one. Then you've got files.
Yeah, because I use iCloud Drive for everything. I don't have Dropbox or anything anymore. I have 2 terabytes of storage, so I just keep everything in iCloud Drive, and it's been reliable for me. I mean, it does its weirdness like everything else on the platform, but it's been pretty solid.
Find My, for obvious reasons on that one.
Yeah.
What's that one with the A?
That is a notable, I believe is how you pronounce it. And it's effectively open up a screenshot or a picture or whatever and be able to just quickly throw like arrows and circles and like call attention to stuff.
Like annotation then.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, right, okay. I was interested, so you don't use the iOS markup functionality?
I don't. No, I prefer the look of the arrows and just the tools in this one feel more polished and more that I could use them in like a professional capacity too. If I needed to quickly mock up a screenshot to like send to somebody, like it just looks nicer to me.
Okay. YouTube, obviously a lot of people have that on there. No idea what that next one is.
Oh, super exciting. Banking app.
Oh, wow. We'll move past that one.
Yeah.
I got a banking app. It just does the job. I pay my bills, transfer some money,
Yep.
out we go. And there's a miracle quite often that they work on the betas. So that's normally what breaks, for me anyway. I bank with HSBC, and the normal is you don't install it until someone said that the HSBC app works, because traditionally it never does. But the last few years, it's always worked. So
that's so funny. I feel like I hear that a lot from people in the UK or just Europe in general, where it's banking apps that seem to be like the thing that never work, which is so weird. Like what? It's not like these apps are super complex. Like they're pretty basic. I don't know why they break so much.
They can really catch you out though. I've had a late credit card payment before, I guess, for installing a beta software.
Reason for late payment: I was on iOS beta, whatever.
Yeah. So I got a friend who is very gung ho with his betas, and so I normally let him let me know if it's working. The next one I'm guessing is Scanner.
Scanner Pro.
Right? Okay.
Riedel. I think it's Riedel.
Yeah, I know the app. I think I just use iOS now for that stuff, or I just take a picture in the photo app and don't worry about it. But
this is one of those like long-standing. I've used this for, God, I don't know. I want to say 10 years. It's been a long time, and it's so part of my workflow now that like I could change apps. I could use different ones, but this one I scan it. It immediately goes into an iCloud folder. My Mac picks up that, does what it needs to do with it, files it away, and like I'm done. And so, yeah, I just don't want to change the workflow.
You know what? I'm enjoying this because you having all the app labels off it and me not having a clue what half of these apps are. I'm guessing what they are from the icon, so this is actually working quite well. So I'm guessing this next one is Nest, is it?
This one is the next two actually are from Ubiquity, so Unify Networking. So the first one is like kind of the network app, and then the second one is like the camera security app.
I thought it was the Ring smoke detector.
Oh yeah, it does look like that. This is what
now you can't unsee that one.
No, this is what their little access points look like. So like the Wi-Fi things we have throughout the house look like that.
Right, and then the other one's obviously the camera.
Yeah.
Right, what's that next one? Let me think. I've seen it. Is it something to do with movies?
Yeah.
This would be a good game show, wouldn't it?
I was just gonna say, this is not something you expect.
I'm like, are you going to tell me,
two.
or am I just are you waiting for the next? I think I know. I'm pretty sure I've seen it where people. I don't know if it's the one where people are reviewing. You know, like you'll see little reviews on Mastodon or
not a review app.
Ones so that you know what to watch. If you is it like
This-
one of those ones where you can... Go on, put me out of my misery.
Plex.
Oh, Plex. Okay.
Yeah. I think
All
it's one of the
your
alternate icons.
legal stuff on there then.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, Plex is something I've never really gotten into, but I know they're big. I know it's a big platform that people use and put their DVDs and stuff on them.
Yeah,
it's
great.
Too lazy.
I love it. I've gotten so sick of streaming everything and not knowing if it's going to be there tomorrow and still paying for it, that I'm just like, I'm kind of over the whole streaming thing at this point.
Okay. I like the idea of it. I'm just too... As I've gotten older, I've just become really lazy. And I think... Yeah, I'm kind of the same with my backups. I probably shouldn't say this, but my backup strategy is basically iCloud.
Oh, gosh.
I've gotten that lazy. I do have a time machine on the iMac in the top of our house, but it's a 2015 iMac. And I remember maybe every 6 months to turn the time machine on and back up all our photos. So, so I'll put that on my to-do list to sort that out. Home. That's the next one. Is Home. Yeah. An app that I haven't got any devices at home. That in our house is very dumb. There's nothing. There's no like smart locks or anything in here, so I don't use that app. Obviously, Apple Music subscriber. I'm guessing that one.
Yeah. Part of the app. It's the whole Apple One thing where like, by the time I get the 3 things that I want, I'm already paying more than Apple One, so I just have that, and then I have everything that comes with it.
Okay. That next one.
It's
just
a cloud. Can you guess what it is?
It looks like the Siri color, but with a cloud in front of it. I literally have no idea what that is. It's not not OneDrive, is it?
This is Raindrop, so bookmark manager.
Raindrop. Okay. Why?
I keep all my bookmarks in there. I never keep them in the browser. It just, I like to have them all in one place for easy searchability and organization.
That next one looks like a Microsoft app, but I don't think it is.
Oh, thankfully not. No, it says AnyList. It's what we just use for like shopping lists, basically, like a shared shopping list. Nothing super exciting.
That's a parcel delivery one. That next one, but
that's parcel. Yep.
It is parcel. Okay, and then obviously Safari, Notes, Slack.
Yep.
I've not used Slack for a long time. I'm guessing it's something to do with work. That one.
Just work. Yeah. And I've moved it from the homepage to the second page for some sanity.
Okay, yeah, it makes sense. And then that next one's either a really messed up Facebook icon or no, it's a signpost, isn't it? It's a signpost, right?
I don't know what it's actually meant to be. I think it's supposed to be a plant. It's our sprinkler system for the house.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's probably supposed to be like a little weird like take on a plant. I think. I don't know. It's very strange.
It looks in the I'm saying in the UK just because that's where I am, but what I live in a rural area and there's quite a lot of walks that come through fields and stuff. And what you find over here is you have a post with signposts coming off it. So it's like this way is, wherever, this way is this 10 miles, this way is that 4 miles that way. And that's what it looks like to me. But I can see now you said a sprinkler. I can see the...
Yeah.
Right.
It's
that next one.
An artsy abstract version of a sprinkler, I think.
I know the logo of that flame one. I don't know. I can't remember.
That one is called wait.
You're gonna have to turn your labels on, aren't you?
Watch duty. So again, wildfires. It's just a
a warning
collection of all the data around what's going on from a fire standpoint.
Okay. That next one. It looks like an M.
I don't think you're gonna guess this one at all.
Well, it looks like a news app of some kind.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Yeah.
It's got an N on track. Yeah. And it looks very businessy, but the colour's obviously not. It's not. It's RSS reader, is it? Something like
It
that?
is. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Good job.
What's it called?
News Explorer.
News Explorer. Okay. That's interesting. I'll give it. I'll have a look. I use Newswire, which I found is very reliable.
Yeah.
I was using Reader, the double E's or whatever in the middle, and I just found it so unreliable with the iCloud sync, so I switched over to NetNewsWire. Okay, that next one is Agenda.
I figured you were going to guess that because it looks almost identical. It's actually called Air Things. It is these these little monitors that we have that do like air quality and like detect when there's stuff in the air and all that. It's just the interface to that.
Okay.
And I don't know why I have the Leica app again on this
I was
page.
just about to say, I saw it and I was like waiting to say, right, you've either messed up or it's another Leica app that I have no idea
No,
about.
that's the same one. I don't know why it's on there again, but there it is.
You can blame the beta for that one. And then what we haven't talked about is your dock, which is obviously, across all your screens. So that first one, I'm guessing is a mail app.
It is.
What's that one called?
That's actually the Fast Mail app. That's their app.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can see you've got a lot of things to do today in your Things app.
Yep. Things and Fantastical are kind of I live and die by both of them. If it's not in one of those places, good luck getting it done.
See, if that was my phone with 20 on the to-do, I would just burn it down. I just can't deal with anything more than like 2 or 3 things on there. The next one is Arc, right?
Yep.
Is that Arc browser?
Yep.
And then, so what are you using that as your primary browser? Are you?
Yeah. Yeah, I use it for my
Safari.
primary on Mac, iOS, and now iPad OS as well.
I know we're coming up to time fairly short, but why? Well, why do you use it over Safari?
So I started using Arc on the Mac way back when it came out, and it's the sidebar for me,
right?
And the spaces functionality that it has, to where I can use one browser and have my multiple spaces for home, work, podcasting, whatever, all compartmentalized in kind of their own thing. And their sidebar functionality with the folders is just, I've never found another browser that does it as well or in such a perfect way for my brain than Arc. I got real excited when Safari said, "Oh, we have spaces now," and they sort of kind of did something, and then in typical fashion, they were kind of like, "Well, that's what you get," and it just wasn't that great. So yeah, Arc has just been my absolute favorite browser for many years now. I keep Safari on the second page because for Apple Pay, basically.
Okay. I'll make a note to try it because I know a lot of people that use it as their primary browser, and I'm a bit bored of Safari, so I'll give it a go. And obviously then Messages.
Yeah, Messages is kind of the
no other messaging apps. Maybe it's an American thing, is it? Most people
just
use
Discord.
Messages.
Yeah, Discord
Just
and
Discord,
Messages.
Okay. So
I
no
have
Signal
all
or
of the.
anything like that?
I have all of those just as because I have them, but I don't actively use them for anything.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is a very country-specific thing.
Yeah.
I know I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people have an impression that people outside of the States all use WhatsApp. And there are a lot of people using. I don't personally use it because I can't stand Facebook, but I have a lot of family that use it. But I use Signal for my Android friends, and I use Messages for everything else. So yeah, that's interesting.
I tried to get everyone to switch to Telegram maybe a year ago because frankly, Messages is the most boring experience on the planet. And every other message app is so much more fun. And why would you not want to have fun when you're chatting with people? I don't understand why you would want it to be so sterile and boring, like business email basically. But it's that thing where if they don't use it, then there's no you're just kind of dead in the water because everyone defaults back to Messages. So there you go.
Yeah. And I use Signal's a lot more customizable. You can put cool funky backgrounds and all that kind of stuff in there. And like you said, Messages is a bit dull. So yeah, that's all the home screens and the lock screens. I really appreciate us going through those. That was fun actually going through it without app labels on it. I think everybody that comes on next, I'm going to say, can you put iOS 18 on it and remove all the app labels so we can just guess them all?
That's a whole new part of the show now. Is Lee trying to guess what apps are what?
I didn't do too badly.
No, you got way more than I would expect, having just never seen my home screen before, and I don't even remember some of them. As I get further in the pages of apps, it becomes less and less sure what they are.
Yeah, so you've not got the app library after that one. You've got more and more pages.
I have a couple more pages and then a bunch of pages of just widgets, because I had this aspiration that I was going to be like a widget only person at some point.
Right.
And again, back to my previous comment of widgets just kind of not working most of the time. Just give me the app.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for going through that, and thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. Where can people hear about you on the internet? What's the best link for people to go to?
Oh, geez. Thank you for having me. Much appreciated.
Okay.
Maybe have me again in like 4 years, because maybe something will have changed by then. Maybe not. We're not sure. But as far as finding me anywhere, you can just go to, I guess, just my site, which is grepjason.sh. grepjason.sh. Probably not the best for saying out loud, but that's where you can find me.
Yeah. And I do recommend everybody going off and looking at hemispheric views, and if you're into photography, looking at 3x2 as well, because like I said, it's one of those podcasts that even though it's photography and it is a visual medium, you don't need to see the photos. You can look at them afterwards, because you guys do such a good job of describing why you like them. And it's not just like, oh, there's a bucket on a step. It's like you talk about why they might have taken it in that way, and the colors and all that. So it's I'm really enjoying it. So
we are by no means art critics, but we just enjoy kind of talking about other people's work, and hopefully making the show about making you want to go out and take photos instead of kind of your classic gear chat or something like that.
Yeah. So thank you. Thanks again. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah. Thanks, Lee.
Cheers.